Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Monday, August the 16th. As always, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. We've got a couple of special ladies who are here. They're with the organization called Moms Demand Action. But today, they are here to talk about a program that's called Be Smart. I want to introduce you to Catey Terry. Welcome to Radio Friends, Catey. And Kristin Bowen. Good to have both of you here. Now, Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. That's the name of the group. Mm-hmm. But what is Be Smart?
Be Smart is our gun safety storage program, so it's an acronym, BE, and then SMART, and I can tell you what the letters stand for, and it's a way to help gun owners and non-gun owners store guns safely in homes and make sure that everyone in their community is safe. So the S acronym is for securing guns in your own home and vehicle. We know guns are stolen from cars. The M is for modeling responsible behavior. Yourself, if you're a gun owner, we ask them to please store your guns safely. If you're going to have children in the house or others, model responsible behavior.
Yeah, because many times accidents have occurred with children involved with guns that were not stored in a secure area.
Missouri trades off often between 1 and 2 in the nation for number of toddler shootings. And we don't call them accidents, Paul, because they're entirely preventable. It's an unintended shooting when a child gets a hold of a weapon, but they know where they're stored in the home. And, we had a case in St. Louis last week of a father leaving a gun on top of a speaker. Children know where the guns are in the home. So it's more than saying don't touch it.
Yeah, it's got to be secured.
It's got to be secured, and that's modeling.
And when they walked in here today, they specifically said, this is not political. We're not trying to get political with the gun situation at all. We're just trying to pass along some common sense ideas about keeping guns out of the hands of kids.
That's right. I mean, Paul, right now we're here with you and it's back to school season. And we know as moms and as family members and community members that school safety is at the top of mind for a lot of families right now, whether it's gun violence in schools or the ongoing concerns around safety for our kids during the pandemic. But we know that Be Smart is a program that we can share with our friends and families and community members that we can all take action on together to keep our school communities safer this year from gun violence. So that's why we're here.
What kind of response have you had from the community, from the schools, or just from individuals, mom and dads, about this?
Well, we know as adults that it's on us to keep our kids safe. I mean, this is a reality, and this is something that I think all families have in common. We know it's on us as adults to keep our kids safe from gun violence and from other kinds of threats to them. So we come from a place of sort of talking about the responsibility of adults, that the onus is on us. And I think everyone can agree that there's more that could be done to keep our kids safe from these preventable tragedies. So I find that these conversations, sometimes they start off a little awkward, but one of the really great things about this campaign, Be Smart, is that we do offer tips and ideas for ways to have these conversations because they are life-saving and so important.
Right.
Will you go to organizations and discuss this with them?
That's our favorite thing to do. Absolutely. We have
you done it so far?
Yes. During the pandemic has changed everything for us. But prior to that, we were very engaged with school PTAs. We'll make presentations to PTAs. There are several health fairs in Missouri and Columbia. We have a little bee costume and a photo
We'll talk to anyone,
opportunity.
Honestly. We go to talk to gun owner groups. We've talked to book clubs. We go to house parties.
Okay, when you go to gun owners groups, what kind of response do you get there?
Well, Catey was talking about some of the steps in the Be Smart campaign. The one that I think I would talk about in connection to that question is recognizing the role of guns in gun suicide and the importance of safe storage to keep our vulnerable teenagers safe. We know that there's a lot of research out there that shows that access, that means, is so important in preventing suicide. And if we can lock up our guns and prevent just one more tragic teenager's suicide attempt, then that is worth doing. And I think, a lot of people who are gun owners already believe that they're being responsible by, caring for their firearms, but we can share some data and some information about safe storage that opens eyes to really prevent needless tragedies.
Well, give me an example.
So the gun suicide one is one. I also like to talk about the A and B SMART, which is asking about the way guns are stored in the homes that you visit with your kids. My kids are older, and so for me, it's not a question of toddlers reaching up and finding a gun on the counter. It's more a question of sleepovers and how are your firearms stored. If you're a gun owner, just having that awkward conversation, it's the first time you do it, it can be pretty tough, but I like to put those conversations together with conversations about my kids' food allergies. My boys are both really allergic to tree nuts. So, do you serve nuts at your home? How are your firearms stored?
So you've actually asked
I've
that
done it.
question.
Yep.
Oh,
I do it.
Yeah,
Have you been rebuffed at all?
Well, I have actually had the experience of people being sort of taken aback and then realizing what an important question it is and that we all can be having these conversations.
You're not trying to take guns away from them.
Absolutely not.
But you're just saying, hey, if my kids are going to come over here, if you own a gun, can I be assured that my kids cannot get their hands on it?
The important thing is that the firearm is stored locked, meaning with a device like a cable or a jacket, or it's in a safe or in a locked space. So so asking those questions sometimes can be eye-opening because it's not something we are maybe used to doing every day. But
well, I'm
so
sure
important.
somebody listening, there may be people listening today, that may never have even entered their mind, but now you have planted a seed. And because you planted that seed, it may be preventing some unnecessary injury or death in the future.
Yeah, and one of the things we do with the Be Smart program and in some of our meetings is practice. We role play. If it's uncomfortable for you to ask a fellow parent if there are guns in the home, you just need to practice it. And there's also, we practice sort of escape clauses. If they do have guns and they're not sure if they're stored, we say, well, why don't we have the play date at our house?
Okay.
Then,
So,
they're sort of
and
redirecting.
if people need that information about how to have that conversation and they're not at a meeting with us, I just want to jump in and add that there is a really excellent tool. It's called besmartforkids.org. It's the website with all of this information.
Okay, besmartforkids.org. We're out of time, but if people would like to come and visit with them at their organization, how do they get in touch with you?
You can find us on the web at momsdemandaction.org or text the word READY to 64433 and we'll reach out and get in touch with you, or they can join us at our meeting in September.
Okay.
On September 13th.
And we're on Facebook also, Moms Demand Action-Mo.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, thank you.
And
thank you, Paul.
Thanks for the good work you do. We're out of time for today. See you tomorrow.